So I ended up in STEM because I was really good in physics and I was really good in mathematics. I sucked at English, literature. Don't tell anyone, but I don't like reading. So I'm those people who have audiobooks and like those apps that read to you. So for me, where I thrive was sciences and mathematics. And so when it came to choosing a university course, I had to choose something along those lines.
Sure.
But then that being said, also I wasn't the typical science geek, right? As you can see, me and my big hair, my big earrings, and I love to play with makeup and stuff like that. So I wanted to do something different, something unique, and something that would also let me be the first in my kind of field. And so I went to different universities, looking at the curriculums, looking at the courses, and thought, you know what, let me choose renewable energy, and ended up loving it. So I signed on in 2008, and I've not turned back since.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. So Sydney is a big city. It's huge. So it's one of those. I would say it's busy. It's very preppy. Everybody has money. And you're a student. You come in. You're just there like McDonald's, Chinese food, trying to hustle and get yourself together. But it teaches you a lot because then you learn that you can't fail, right? So you learn that you have to have a standard consistently. You need to be at the top. And then being a black girl, being an African woman, and the only one in my engineering class, and maybe there were only 4 other girls, let alone black girls. There was only 2 others in the year above me. It was quite unique. I also felt like I had to show up. So I did. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show people that black girls, young black girls from Africa can do it too. We can be engineers. We can be amazing. We can stand out. And that's basically how it was for me in Sydney. I loved it. I love Sydney. It's a great city, but you have to hustle. You have to hustle. Yeah. And for me, even before being in Australia, I felt that I had to really show up. Show up for the women, for black girls. Show people that we, your narrative of what an African girl is not. Right? We're so different, we're so diverse, we're smart, we're beautiful, we're amazing, we're all these things, and we're engineers, and we're doctors, and we're lawyers, and we're artists, and that's something that for me, I thought I had to really show up and stand out and show that we could be amazing. And it also led me to found the African Students Association at uni, because I remember just wanting to share my culture and just be like, I want people to taste pilau.
Yes.
How do I make people taste pilau and chapatis without inviting the whole university to my room, my studio? So I founded the African Students Association, got all my friends to cook pilau and chapos with me before any open day, would go and serve people, and that's how I would sign people up to the African Association by giving them free African food.
Right.
So for me, I felt like I also had big shoes to fill, and I couldn't fail. If you look at any angle, whether you're looking towards the sciences or the arts or whatever, or law, you'd always have a role model to look at. And so for me, I felt that I had to really fill in those shoes, but also make them proud as well. And my mom always told me, this is something that she always told me when we were young: if you're lost, walk like you know where you're going. Don't look lost, even if it means, especially at an airport, even if it means you need to go to the toilet, confidently walk to that toilet, gather yourself, and then look for where you're going and come back out. So never ever look like you're lost, never ever look like you're confused. Always be confident where you're going and how you're walking. From then on, I decided that I need to now go out into industry. I've not graduated yet. Just before I graduated, let me go out into industry and get experience, right? So that when I graduate, I can say I'm a graduate with 2 years experience or with 1 year experience, and the course is 4 years. So I went out job hunting. Found a reception job at a renewable energy engineering firm, and let me tell you, I was taking all the notes I could ever take, because I was like, every single opportunity here is an opportunity to learn. When you finished uni, your parents are like, so the tap is dry. We're not paying rent, we're not paying food, you just now hustle yourself. So of course I had some savings, but now it was my job to find a job. So I literally remember being on my friend's floor, sleeping on their mattress, being like, every day I'm applying for 10 jobs. every day I would apply for 10 jobs. And I keep saying this, like, when you've graduated, don't expect to just come and walk into the work world. It's not gonna happen. There's people who've been waiting. But just hustle as much as you can. Like, for every 10 jobs somebody else is applying for, you should have applied for 15, you know? And so for me, I used to be that person. I'd apply for 10 jobs a day. Even if it's something that I didn't think I was fully qualified for, I would still apply for it. Because also as women, we have this thing where we'll only be 100% qualified for it and then apply for the job. Not unlike a man who might be only 80% qualified and he'll still apply and get the job. So I would just apply for everything. And I remember getting an interview in a different city. So this is now Canberra. And Canberra is the capital of Australia. It's about 3 hours away from Sydney. And I was like, oh, Canberra, I have to move cities. Like, my sister by then had joined me in Australia. She was in uni as well. So I was like, moving to a whole new city where I know nobody, that's just gonna be crazy. But I was like, you know what? Let me go for the interview. Let me just go and see. And so I did the interview and left, went back the same evening to Sydney and didn't hear back for a couple of weeks, and then finally heard back that I'd made the second interview. And I was like, wow, this is, you know, and remember in that 2 weeks, I'm still applying for 10 jobs every day, hopeful that something will come through. So finally, I ended up getting the job in Canberra, moved cities. I also happened to be in a relationship at that point. And sometimes I always think when we're young, we make very dumb decisions.
Irrational.
But I always say this, don't ever make a permanent decision for somebody who's not permanent in your life, right? So for me, moving cities also was a big strain on the relationship because now we go from seeing each other to long distance, right? Yeah, so my training is in renewable energy and sustainability. The first role in Canberra was a sustainability data analyst, so that's okay, that's within the line. Coming back here, I was like a business development manager for the real estate side of the company. So I don't know anything about real estate. I also don't know anything about business development, but I do know the company mottos and how they operate globally. I've been with them for 3 years, and I know Kenya. So for me, I just put myself, again, the confidence, put my best foot forward and just said, I can do this. Take me back, I'll show you that I can set up this company. I can work with the people on the ground and we can create a successful business, and that's what we did. So I came from, when I was in the real estate role for the 3 years, I started thinking, I'm missing sustainability, I'm missing renewable energy, I'm missing my roots. And so I had to come back to my roots. And so I applied for this role at HEVOS, which was the program development manager of the renewable energy side of things. And I got it, which was great. So that was also a very steep learning curve because I had to come in and innovate new programs in an NGO setting, whereas before I've always been in a private sector setting, and they're very different ways of thinking. So it was really a steep learning curve for me, but a great one nonetheless. I got to work on like interesting projects such as like remote blockchain trading in a rural off-grid community, random things like having how do I put it, like hydropower projects for a community that uses, that mills flour, things like that. Like things that were quite interesting for me and also dropped me right back into renewable energy. And then recently, as of March this year, I was then promoted to lead innovation for HEVOS. So we have a program called Voices for Climate Action, and basically we just amplify voices of local people who have climate solutions, and so I lead innovation on that now. So that's been quite interesting as well. Yeah. Another steep learning curve in innovation, but really interesting as well, nonetheless. I would say the quicker that you can go through the process and fall and learn and go through that, the better. So don't delay. Don't say, I'll do it in 5 years or I'll do it in 10 years. Because in those 5 years, there's people who've made that decision to do it. And so then you're only further down the line, right? So the quicker you can do it, the earlier, I think the better. And in the same time, make your networks as you do that. And that will help you do job interviews while you're here, We don't have to tell the employers, but it's it kind of helps you kill two birds with one stone.
True.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm so glad that I did, that I came back home. I feel like my real purpose is here, and if I want to achieve the things I want to achieve, the big dreams I want to achieve, I can't do them in another country. I need to be in my home country to do that, and that's Kenya. And so even the awards that you are reading out, like I see them, I'm like, what? Okay, but I would never have been able to get on such lists in Australia.
True.
You know, it's already been, like, there's people there doing that. So come, let's do this in Africa for us, and let's be those people that people talk about, you know, and that, for me, that's really important. Why are we changing things like for other people, right? My dad always says, why are you making other people rich? Make your own self rich, make your people rich, you know? And so it's really important to come in. Yes, you have to do early. Yes, you have to fail. Yes, it's going to be hard, but you will overcome it earlier because you'll still go through those challenges anyway in 10 years. So why not do it earlier?
Right.
For me, it's not really shaping Africa, but it's kind of showing Africa. For so long, we were told that African things are backward, African things are, you know, dated, they're not the way to go, use this American thing or this amazing, you know, external thing. And then now, even in sustainability, you learn that even our ways of being, how we used to cook food, how we build our houses, how we are as Africans, are what sustainability is. Even how people, like, I'll give you an example, the housing, the way we used to use mud huts and all that, and people would say, oh, that's backward. It's not a normal skyscraper building, right? But the reason we used to use mud is because it cools the inside of the building, so that in a hot area, the inside of the house is cool and it's comfortable. People now are trying to cool buildings with ACs because they put glass facades all over. And so when you start to look at the way we used to do things as Africans and realize we were sustainable. We were actually good in the way we used to do things. We just need to embrace that more. For me, I want to bring that out. I want to bring that out in green building. Of course, I want to couple it with renewable energy and sustainability. But for me, I want to show that we were already ahead. Let's go back to where we were, and let's not worry. If you even look at how KSCC was built back in 60 years ago, it was sustainable. You know, it has the shading on the eaves, it has cross ventilation, like certain things that we're now trying to put into our buildings because we had engineered them out, thinking we're doing better, right? But actually, we were good. We were good the way we were, and we just now need to embrace that more as Africans.